So today is day 13 of the Marriage Bootcamp, and I'm going to continue on a little bit with the theme of forgiveness. So today's challenge is to forgive the little things, the little inconveniences, the little miscommunications, the little annoying habits. How does your spouse push your buttons, like intentionally or unintentionally? Things that happen that really build up over time and annoy you, little habits or things like that. And just decide that you're going to be the first to forgive and let it go. And a lot of times nothing even has to be said about it. So today's challenge is just to be the first to forgive. Forgive immediately, forgive completely, and this kind of forgiveness, personally, I feel is better left unsaid out loud unless the person is seeking your forgiveness. Because my husband and I have talked about a lot, he knows there are things that he does that he now catches himself doing, like criticizing my driving, where he will ask for forgiveness and I will forgive him and I have to let it go and move on and not, beat him over the head with it a million times or threaten to pull the car over and get out and let him drive. So things like this that we're working on, and maybe you're there with your spouse, maybe you're not, but forgive the little things and just make it your goal in life to be the first to forgive, to always be the first to forgive and recognize, when you put yourself at the foot of the cross, like, I'm not perfect either. People need to forgive me for a lot of my own little habits and things that, don't bring them closer to God or closer to me. So we all have these traits. But if a goal in life is to be the first to forgive, that's great. So that's your challenge for today. Just spend a day being the first to forgive. The first to forgive the little bad habits and annoyances. And then I wanted to say just a little bit about whether or not it's appropriate to forgive someone face to face. So if somebody has done something to you and they've asked your forgiveness and you weren't able to give it at the time, or something happens and someone asks your forgiveness, I'm going to post a link with a script in the description, a little video that talks specifically how to use words. And so you can, it makes the process very easy and complete. So you can watch that video. But forgiving someone and you release them from that wrong, from that offense, and then you promise that they owe you nothing, that this is now done. So that's a great way to do it if somebody's asking your forgiveness. But there are a lot of times when people don't realize, for whatever reason, the offense that's taken place. They either are unwilling or unable or unaware that they need to ask for forgiveness, that they've done something wrong. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to stay stuck in it, because that's not good for you. So I would say go ahead and listen to the video I link in the description, and it will take you through those steps of forgiving someone who maybe isn't part of your life anymore. Maybe an offense that happened a long time ago, and it wouldn't really do any good to bring it up if the person doesn't realize that, you were upset about that they did do something wrong to you. So anyway, you can check out the link in the description for my little 5-minute video on how to walk through a scripted forgiveness. So the other thing that I just want to briefly mention, I'm going to have to get it really quick to get in under 5 minutes here. Think about what kind of a legacy you want to hand on to your children. So if I have unforgiveness towards my spouse, is that the legacy I want for them? Because believe it or not, everything that we say and do as parents, our children, that's what we're handing on to them. They see everything, they feel everything, it's the environment they're in. So do I want to hand on the legacy of hanging on to bitterness and resentment toward my spouse? Do I want to hand on the legacy of hanging on to unforgiveness toward a sibling? Do I want my children to have that with their siblings? Do I want to hand on the legacy of unforgiveness towards a parent? If I have unforgiveness in my own life that I've been kind of holding a parent or a sibling or a spouse hostage with my unforgiveness and not releasing that and not letting that go, is that the legacy I want to hand on to my own children? Do I want them to have that in their life, that they're hanging on to resentment toward a sibling, that they're hanging on to resentment toward me as their mother, that they're in a marriage and they're hanging on to resentment and unforgiveness towards a spouse? And the answer is no. None of us want that for our kids. So if nothing else, think about your children and think about who God has created you to be. And in being that person and practicing forgiveness, you're really being for them what they need to know how to deal with life. Forgiveness is the quickest way to success in any area of life. Letting go of the past, because that is what ties us to a whole world of hurt. When really we can release that, we can let it go, and we can move forward. So your challenge for today is kind of simple. Just pay attention to what's happening, and when you start to feel those twinges of annoyance and anger, and just practice forgiveness immediately. Just be the first to forgive. To let it go. So that's it. God bless you. Good measure, packed down, flowing over. Have a great day. Live joyfully. And check out the video in the description. It's the same one that I posted in the description yesterday with the script for walking through forgiveness. And I'm going to talk a little bit more tomorrow about forgiveness. And then we are going to move on from this. God bless you.